Hello. So one thing that I think is very important when you're eating plant-based is that you're gonna be buying a lot of products that you haven't tasted before you start going full on plant-based, right? So I happen to have some leftover pumpkin rice porridge, but eating it alone, it really tasted like baby food, and the portion is quite small as well. So what I'm going to do in this recipe is that I'm going to attempt to readjust it to make it taste good with some oatmeal, and let's wait for the close-up of the ingredients. So as you've seen, there's the porridge, but you know it's good. It's good, but it could taste better. Let's just say. So I wanted to add a nuttier flavor with some oatmeal, and to make the portion a little bigger as well because the portion is quite small. I've diced some shallots, some garlic, These are jalapenos that were left over from the takeaway that I bought for my fiance, as well as the celery herbs. So we're gonna add a lot of herbs in there to cover that baby food taste. That's how it tasted, to be honest. That's how the porridge alone tasted. It kind of tasted like baby food. And we're gonna attempt to make this oil-free. I should be using Alright, let's turn on the heat. The saucepan is still wet from washing it, so I'm going to use the residual water from that. But I think I'm going to need some extra water for the oatmeal, so I'll be right back. Alright, so here's my bowl of water. The pan is heating up nicely. Just gonna add a bit of it. Yep, it's hot. So we're going to start with the shallots and the garlic. I'm doing this with one hand, so it's a little bit difficult because the tripod is not tall enough. Make sure you keep your heat on low, otherwise everything will burn, especially if you're using... Yes, darling, I'll be right back. Okay, well, I'm doing my video. So, a new episode of Flash just came up. I'm just cranking up the heat just slightly. That sizzling is nice, isn't it? So yeah, I want to attempt making a recipe that's oil-free. And for what reason? I don't know. I think the pan is wet enough, so I'm just going to let that sit for a while because I want to keep that caramelization. And I think that I'm going to add the chili a little early as well, just to let it develop its flavor. The herbs go in last. Alright, so the caramelization is forming. I'm just going to add a bit of water in there. Right. Just to deglaze the pan from the caramelization. Now see how it's turning a little brown? That's the caramelization of the shallots and the garlic, and possibly the chili if it has any sugar in there. And thank goodness that the seeds have not exploded on me. Alright, and when your garlic has caramelized enough, your aromatics basically, add water. A lot of water, because that's for the oatmeal. And because oatmeal expands quite a lot, I'm not gonna add so much. Just gonna add maybe a few teaspoons. You know what? Maybe a whole heaping tablespoon. That's about it. And mix it up so that every grain gets hydrated. And let that cook. At that point, you can crank up your heat a little if you're feeling a little impatient, because the grains of the oats are going to continue cooking with the porridge that I'm going to add later. But first we're going to need to cook that oatmeal, because because that's just what my instincts are telling me. In terms of seasoning, you season it last, otherwise you're going to over salt it, and when it's too hot you're not even going to taste the seasoning. Maybe you can scrape the pan, then try to scrape it, but that's when I can't. I don't know why. And when I wash it, the glazing comes off, right? The caramelization, the remaining caramelization comes off. But when I add water to it, it just doesn't work. And I have heat on. If there are any chefs out there, it would be nice to tell me why. Alright, so at that point the oatmeal's ready. Add in your pumpkin porridge. And what you see in there are what I'm assuming are red kidney beans with little chunks of, you know what, this is hard to do with one hand. I'll be right back. Now, so what I was saying was that there were little chunks of pumpkin, and what was red were red beans. Now you're going to stir everything to heat that through. The porridge itself is already a little seasoned, so I'm going to go easy on it. And yeah, let's heat that through. I wanted to add more oats, but I decided to add some spinach instead to make it a little more nutritious. I'm just leaving it in there so that it melts, and the remaining water doesn't really bother me. It will actually help my porridge become a little more runny. Well, not really runny, but it will add a bit of extra water so that I make sure that my oats are cooked through, because I like my oats really, really well cooked. I really don't like that if there's a remaining bite to it. To me, that tastes like it's uncooked. Okay, we'll be right back for the final shot and see how it looks. It'll probably look green. It's kind of disgusting to some, but I like green in my food. Right, so this is what we have so far, because I did add some extra spinach in there, but I think the extra spinach did not cover that baby food taste very much. So I added a bit of mushroom seasoning in there. Because, see, it tasted too sweet. It tasted like a real weird dessert. Tastes better now. But I think I'm gonna add a bit more seasoning in there. Now, to those, to other vegans, this might be a little too high in sodium, but see, I don't label myself. I just wanted to make this recipe oil-free, so I'm not high carb, low fat or anything. I just follow my taste buds. Much, much, much better now. But the flavor of the garlic isn't strong enough, so I'm gonna add some garlic powder in there. You don't add the garlic powder early. You can add the whole garlic early, but you don't add the garlic powder early because it'll burn. It'll burn, it'll taste bitter, and it'll taste awful. Much, much better. Alright, let's plate this up. Alright, so this is where we're at. I added some pepper, some chili pepper, and my celery leaves, Chinese celery leaves. And because I wanted something that was very warming to the gut, I added just, you know, a pinch of allspices, grounded assorted spices. Excuse the duck if you've seen that. And when I eat it, we'll stir everything up, and then it'll be balanced. It won't be, you know, overpowering on one side. And of course, I personally cannot have my congee without a squeeze of lime. There we go. Thank you for watching.